Welcome back to the Overcomfort Podcast. I'm your host, Jenicka Lopez. Thank you guys so much for choosing to listen and watch today's episode. I am so excited because I'm a little bit of a fangirl right now. For this person, if you guys saw the title and the thumbnail, you guys know who this person is. Without further ado, we have the one, the only.
Oh my God.
Tony Vara?
Tony Vara, yeah.
Vara. I was like, do I be all Mexican about it
or
not?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited. If you guys don't know who Tony is, Tony has gone viral. Update on my Christianity. If you watch The Chosen, he's done all the reviews and the notes. Also, recently, his mom has been detained by ICE. So we're going to get into all these wonderful things. And I just want to let you know, I told him when you got here, I was like, dude, I'm so excited to meet you. I was so happy, and I'm so happy, and I'm grateful that you had the time, because I just think that what you do and how you went viral and the stories that you're doing and everything is just like, it's so relatable.
Oh, very. I'm like, oh my God, relatability. I'm like, that's what we want to see. I'm like, oh my God.
Okay, so before we get into all of that, I asked him, I'm like, hey, like, what kind of meal do you like? I want to make you feel comfortable. I want to make you feel safe. Like, what's something that you're going to like? And he said, any Mexican caldo soup or whatever. So today we're making chicken.
I was like, is she gonna think I'm crazy for wanting like sopa during the summer?
No.
I'm like, I want sopa.
I'm on the same level. Yeah. Period. Easy, peasy, delicious bomb. So we're gonna have albondigas today, and yeah. So I'm gonna bring everything. But while we get started, for the people that don't know you, please introduce yourself, who you are, how old you are, your social security. Just kidding. No, how you grew up. What you do, and how was your childhood?
Yeah.
And all that.
So my name is Anthony. I go by Tony, though, on the internet. That was just like a weird name like we came up with, Tony Vara. I also,
sorry.
Like in high school, no, you're so good. In high school, I hated being called Tony.
Oh.
Because like, you know how the teachers would be like, oh, do you want to go by Tony? I was like, no, don't call me that. I won't answer to that. But now I'm just like, oh, sorry.
I guess.
But yeah, I grew up in Virginia. I'm 24 years old.
Okay.
Birthday's in November. I'm a Sag.
Okay.
I don't know what that means though, so hopefully that's a good thing. I grew up in Virginia. My parents are from Central America. My dad's from Honduras and my mom's from El Salvador.
How was your childhood like?
Traumatic.
Really?
Yeah, like we grew up like, we grew up in Virginia. Like, it's been pretty good for the most part, but like definitely some ups and downs as I got older. But yeah, and then like when I was like 8, my little sister was born. They're like in the other room like playing Roblox right now. And then I've been in Virginia mostly like all my life. Like I even went to university in Virginia. Like I'm like a Virginia like person like down. Like that's my state.
That's
like,
your place.
Yeah.
We were just talking about off camera like how he would move to New York.
Oh yeah.
The dreams.
I was like, okay, because I was like no shade to LA, but like I've been living here for like almost a year, and I'm like, I just don't think it's not an LA problem. I think it's a West Coast thing because the time difference. I don't have any family out here. I'm just like, I just don't, because you know those people that are like, oh, I don't like LA because of all the influence. No, I love LA. Like because of like the culture, everything. I just think it's a West Coast thing.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I feel
if this city was on the East Coast, I'd live there.
You know what? Culture-wise, I feel like there's some. Maybe this, because I'm in the Valley and like there's more Latinos on this side, but like when you really get out of here, this area, like there's really not, it's more Asian and like, I feel like it still needs a little bit more culture.
There's not like, besides like, because I live in Sawtelle, like right now, which is very like Japanese, like it's called Japantown or something. So like the food there is like amazing. But like besides that, like I grew up in a very Latino area. Like I grew up in, if you know Northern Virginia, like that's where like, it's very immigrant heavy.
That's what I was gonna say. Like like the East Coast has a lot more like,
I will say it's a lot more diverse. A lot more diverse.
As far as like culture-wise, like
yeah, I think like I didn't grow up around like a lot of white people. Like I just didn't. Like in LA, you see like a lot, and like I feel like in the DMV, if you like someone like you could find like someone blonde hair, blue eyed. They're like, where are you from? It's like, oh, my parents are Guatemalan.
Yes,
you know, like you would see that. So like,
exactly.
I definitely think the East Coast has a lot more variety because like. I love the Latinos here for like y'all don't play bachata, like there's no punta.
That's literally
I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, but yeah, basically.
Yeah, okay, so you mentioned that was it a joke or did you have a really traumatic childhood?
So, for the people that know, like if you know, you know, this is like the second time my mom has been detained. Like she was detained before. I was like 7, so I don't really remember. And like I have a little brother and he has like no idea what's going on.
Really?
We tell him that my mom's at work. And I'm just like, I say that because like, oh my God, like, stop, I can't cry. But like, we tell him that because like, that's what I was told when I was younger. And like, in my mind, I'm like, that worked with me. So I'm like, that might work with him.
You wanna know what, too? Sorry to interrupt you, but they
good.
told me the same thing.
Really?
Now, my dad wasn't, well, I mean, he went to jail. He was in jail. He was in school or he was at work.
Yeah. And then so like when we went to like go visit her recently, like, and we're going on Tuesday again, like my cousin was like, oh, like we can just tell him that she's wearing scrubs. Cause like, like, you know, the little thing. And he was just like, oh, like, can I stay here and work with you? And I was just like, oh my God.
No.
And like seeing my little brother not knowing what's going on, I'm just like, oh my God, this was literally me. So it's low-key a little like traumatic. But
Right.
I'm just like, because I told my sister, I was like, love you guys so much. We're all getting therapy. I was like, we all need therapy.
No, honestly, therapy is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you discover yourself. You've never done it?
No, I did it when I was like 8, I think, like once.
Okay, speaking on that topic, outside of therapy, now that you mentioned it, obviously, about your mom, everything that's obviously going on right now, and like, this isn't her first time. I did not know that. Can you give like, I want to know what exactly happened. Because obviously there's one thing that like the media tells you and gives you this picture or whatever. Then there's another thing where there's somebody that's actually there. And to be honest, you're the first person I know that has somebody that close in there.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm so sorry. Like,
Thank you.
it is probably the most traumatic experience. Do they do it exactly how they say it in like the videos, like they go knocking on the doors or whatever? Like, obviously I know you're supposed to know your rights and all that stuff, but I want to know, like, and forgive me if I sound ignorant or whatever,
you're so good.
but I just want to know, and especially for people that don't know, like a lot of the viewers that have never had this experience or, you know, aren't aware of like the intensity of what it is.
I think like it's not like the typical thing you see on the news, because that is very real. Like me working in like the immigration space, like that is very real. But I think like the way that it happened with my mom is that like first like she had like basically like had a run-in with like the police or something like that.
Okay.
And then once they saw that she was like undocumented, that's when they like basically like took her in. And then so it kind of was like police collaboration with like, you know, like ICE, right?
Okay.
So basically, and like they had her like, I can tell y'all some details, but like the legal team told me not to say too much.
Right.
But like what I can tell you is that like they like were basically trying to like, I think the thing about my mom, y'all know, like if you know, you know, my mom is like, she don't back down from like no kind of fight. So like she's very much like, I know my rights, don't play in my face.
Right.
And also I think it helps that like my mom came here when she was really young, so she's like fluent in English. Like they kept trying to play in her face. They were like, you should sign this paper. And then my mom was like, well, no, because I read English and that I probably shouldn't sign that.
What?
Yeah, they kept trying to like play in her face and stuff. So then they had her like in Virginia, they took her to Louisiana. And like, that was like my biggest nightmare because I was like, I just want her to stay in the state. And then they moved her to Louisiana and then they kept moving her different places. And during all these like movement, like we didn't know where she was. Because like there's a way you can track someone if you know their like A number and stuff.
Right.
But like we just couldn't figure out where she was because it was like not updating. And then one day she like calls me and like obviously she was like crying and like panicking and she was like, I'm in Texas. And I was like, because like Texas and Louisiana, they're like kind of like the strict states, you know, like when it comes to like ICE detention. So basically, yeah, she's been in Texas ever since. I don't say the specific one because y'all know people on the internet be like weird.
No,
Yeah, because
for
people,
sure.
people have been like, oh, where's your mom? Like, so we can help. I was like,
We
no,
saw
no.
your son on the podcast.
Yeah, and then, well, actually, like, I don't know if I should, I'll say it, right? But like, my mom was told by like people there that they're like, we know who your son is because like, my mom was like, Hijo, did your video go viral? I was like, it has a couple likes. And I was like, it has a couple views. She was like,
100,000 likes. Nothing like too much.
She was like, how many likes? And I was like, it has 1.2 million. And she was like, Anthony. And I was like, sorry. I was like, sorry. And that was just me literally just telling people that it happened. And I think it's because like, I think it also had like a shock factor to it because people were like, because I talk about these things so much on my page and people were like, dang, it happened to him, you know?
Wow.
So I was just like, it did. And that shows you, like, even when people are, like, so prepared for things, like, it can still happen to you.
Of course.
Because I think, like, even with all the preparation in the world, because, like, I had my mom prepared, like, even stuff like that can still happen.
It's just, like, scary, like that anxiety.
Yeah.
Of, is this really gonna happen?
And that happened on November 4th. Or, like, the day, well, no. Like, the day the anxiety started, like, the election. You know? Like, that's what I was like, whoa. I was like, and then I told my mom, I was like, you better like lock in because, you know, anything can happen.
No, yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like,
Wow,
yeah.
Tony. All right, you guys, we're gonna go on a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back, you guys. Okay, so obviously your little brother doesn't know.
No.
How old is he?
He's 8. Yeah. He
My
like,
heart.
and the thing is, like, I don't cry until I see him cry, because like every time we go for like visitation, he'll literally latch onto my mom and not let her go, and then like you'll see my mom start crying. I'm just like, oh my god.
What is that? Okay, so what is visitation like?
Okay.
What is it? Can you talk about what it looks like or what it?
So I was like nervous, and also like literally at the point of having an anxiety attack when I found out that like it might have had to be through glass.
Okay.
Because like there's also visitation where like you can't touch the person. You can only like, there's like a piece of glass and you have to pick up like one of those like fake phones to talk to them, right?
Right.
Because I was low-key
Like a
getting
gel?
like,
Yeah.
I was low-key getting PTSD because that's how it was when my mom was first detained. And I remember that because I always remember like, oh, this is where my mom works and like I can't touch her. And you know, like the thing where it's like you put your hands up to
Yes.
the glass, like my mom would be on one side and I would be putting
Literally,
like my
yes.
little hand. And I was like, if I see my brother put his hand with my mom's hand,
You're losing
I'll
it.
lose it. I'll
Yeah.
lose it. And then thankfully, like my mom, because my mom's over in there, like she asked questions, like, because my mom is very like viva, like, right? So she was over there, so there's like, so do I get to touch my children, right? And then they were like,
She's demanding. Like,
yeah,
she knows
yeah.
what,
And she was like, do I get to touch my children? Like, I want a contact visit. And then basically the guard was like, what are you talking about? Everyone gets a contact visit. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, thank God, right?
Okay.
And then we like went in, and the way that it works is like no phones are allowed too, so I can't even take a picture with my mom.
Okay, sorry.
no,
Quick,
you're good.
what does it look like?
So it's like I don't even know how to describe it. It looks like an office building that's like one floor.
Okay.
You walk in, it's all Latinos working there.
Right.
Yeah, which is, I have my own thoughts, but I keep it cute for my mom.
Look, at the end of the day, everyone has a job to do. So.
Yeah.
We'll keep it at that.
Yeah, we'll keep it at that. So you go in, basically, like you I have to leave my phone in the car.
Right.
Right, because if not, they'll make you take it back. And then
Right.
you go in and you basically, there's like this room with like, just like a bunch of tables and chairs. And then we sit there and then we get an hour with her to like, we obviously can hug her. And like, we can hug her the entire time because they don't monitor her like that. At the end of the day, the way I think about it is I'm just like, knowing the situation in this country, there are worse places my mom could be. And we talk about this all the time because my mom is a person who like, even in her circumstance, she likes to be like optimistic or like just like look on the bright side of things. She's like, I could be in Florida. And know, because like the way that they're treating people in like different places, because she's like, they feed me, they're like nice to me. And I'm just like, okay, mom, like, because in my mind, I'm just like, I don't want her in there, but I get why she's trying to remain optimistic. But yeah, and then they like tell us like, oh, time is up, and then that's when like the whole like that's when the waterworks started. Yeah. I'm just like, oh my god. But
you said that it's like maybe till like December. It's looking like.
Well, the thing is like it can depend. Like I can't talk about like the specifics about her like case because her legal team's like, you're right.
Yeah, right.
But I'm just hoping it's by December. Just because obviously we want her home for Christmas, you know.
Right.
Like I feel like, and also like my sister's birthday's in January, her birthday's in January, so like
it's all
we just
like
want
those
her out
little
by
things,
like the end of the year.
Can I ask why she didn't have her papers after the first time?
Yeah, so like she was like deported and she had like some kind of TPS, but like back then the system, because I think when she first received TPS was before like ICE was even a thing. It was like INS back then. Because like people don't know, ICE was only created in 2003. So it's not like we've had it always, right? And she had like some kind of status and they like messed it up for some reason. So then she like lost it for a couple months and then she like was detained back then and then like she obviously like came back. And then like ever since then, I think because she had that first room, she couldn't just like go in and be like, hey, I want to like start my pathway, you know? So it was like a lot of complications, yeah.
Dang. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, you posted the video, you got a lot of support, and it's just you taking care of everybody right now?
No, so I'm like the primary person in charge of my siblings, but like to say that like when the phrase like it takes a village is like something I'm living so hard right now because like me and my siblings, we moved into, it sounds crazy. The people are gonna think this is crazy, but it's my dad's families that are like kind of helping me out because they've always looked at my mom, even though they're like, even though like my grandma's son, which is my dad,
Right.
is not with my mom anymore, she's always loved my mom like a daughter.
Right.
So and like we had also planned this low-key, like a long time ago. I was like, just in case you guys will help me with them, right?
Yeah.
They were like, of course, you know, like in the case that anything like that were to happen. So like we always had that like backup plan just in case. So then obviously like as soon as it happened, I told my grandma and she was just like, you know, like we'll help you with the siblings because they know I work a full-time job. And like I originally was thinking, I was like, they can just move in with me in California, but like they wouldn't be able to have like my full attention when I'm working. So like they help a lot because my grandma obviously stays at home. So she like cooks them breakfast, you know, she's like hanging out with them while like I'm working because I work from home. And then like obviously like now on my videos, they're in all my videos, so like that doesn't really affect me. So yeah, it's like my grandma helping me out. My aunts, like my mom's, they're like prima hermanas of my mom, but like to my mom, they're just like her sisters. So they help us out because they're like my brother's like godmother. So like they take them out. And like I think they're like, everyone is also helping me keep them distracted. Because I remember like when my mom first detained, I was like, oh my God, a Disney World trip. But in my mind, I was like, and like now I'm just like, wait, that was to distract me from the fact that my mom was gone. So like I tried, like I took them to Six Flags here the other day and like they had like a lot of fun. I do worry about my sister though sometimes because like she's like a little bit old. She's 16. So like she knows what's going on, but like doesn't fully understand it like I do. Because it's just like she's right in the middle of like Aiden not knowing anything and like me knowing everything. So she's just like, you know, and I'm just hard. Like, and I'm just like, just go to school and do your homework. You know, that's like, literally all I ask. Like,
it's hard because you're like raising them like in like a very intense situation.
Exactly, yeah. So like, but my family has definitely been like a huge help, like helping me. Yeah.
Okay, so through all of this, obviously, my gosh, what is like the one big thing that you've probably learned, or that advice maybe that you can give to maybe people that are probably in the same situation?
I don't know. I feel like I've learned a lot. One is just like, don't question like the lengths that your family will go. I guess that's like the thing that, cause like I've had family members, like my cousin is like taking off work to come over here, you know, to help me with them like while I'm working. Cause I had like a work retreat in LA the same week. And like my other aunts have like changed their shifts at work in order to be able to like take my siblings out. And like, obviously I feel like as like bad as the situation is, it has brought my family closer together, especially on both sides.
Yeah.
Because like one side is like my mom's family and then the other side is my dad's family. But also it just like, I don't know, I guess like don't question the lengths that your family will go to like help you out. Because like sometimes I'll be like super stressed. Like there was one night, I just needed a night out at the club. I don't know, like
also need to live your life.
I was like, I just wanted one night at the club to like forget. And my family, like, I felt like they were gonna judge me. And they were like, no, we'll take care of them. Like, go have fun, you know? And I was just like, I needed that. Period. But then at the club, when I'm over here trying to forget about it, people come up, they'll recognize me like, how's your mom? I'm like, I need another vodka shot. I was like, please, I don't want to cry in the club right now.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah.
Well, look, you have my love and support.
Thank you.
You have my family's, because my sister also, I told her that I was gonna be interviewing you or having a chat with you, and she's like, shut up. Call me when you're with him. Oh my God, or whatever. And not only just because of like the whole ICE thing, but it was also because of your honesty about your Christianity or discovering it. And like, you know, I think how you fell on my For You page was so amazing because I fell into the Chosen. The Chosen trap, love it. Like, so then my whole For You.
I need to catch up.
What season?
No, I'm still on season 2.
Oh,
like, because I haven't watched it, and like, because like, I guess we can maybe talk about that later. But like, this whole thing has like been very tumultuous in like my whole Christianity era. Yeah.
Okay, we're just gonna probably go everywhere. What inspired you, one, to like discover it? Was it The Chosen that you just wanted to like dive deeper into it? Or like, was it, I don't know, like what happened? Like what started everything?
Yeah, me and my cousin were literally just talking about this because she was telling me like, I guess like, I don't know if every Christian has it, but I feel like Christians have like their testimony of like what made them go. Mine was sleep paralysis. That is just...
Okay, wait. Did you grow up believing in anything?
Yes and no. Okay. So I was raised like believing in God.
Okay.
But my mom, like in El Salvador, was raised very Catholic to the point where like she just chose she didn't want to raise her kids like that way.
Okay.
But she always like I don't think she ever like raised us to like believe in God. It was just like a thing that we just believed in God. But I will say specifically, like, it was just God. It wasn't specifically Jesus. Like, it was just overall God, right? So basically, I didn't know anything about the Bible. I didn't know anything about that. And like, people think I'm lying. I'm just like, I have no reason to lie because I didn't know David and Goliath was like a Bible story.
Okay.
Right? I didn't know Noah's Ark was from the Bible.
Okay.
I tell everyone
You thought that these were just stories.
I thought these were just stories that like they told kids, right?
Okay.
Like I like say this all the time, but there's this one movie, I don't remember if it was Jim Carrey or someone. It's like a movie based on Noah's Ark. I remember watching the movie, I was like, I think it's called Evan Almighty or something like that. And I remember watching the movie, I was like, wait, this plot is really good. I was like, this plot is really good. And then now that I'm older, I'm like, wait, this is literally based on Noah's Ark. And I had no idea. So basically, yeah, that's how I grew up. And I have been to churches before, like, obviously, like, because my aunt on my mom's side, they're, like, very Catholic. Okay. So, like, they would take me to misa sometimes. But, like, in my mind, I never went there, like, regularly.
Right.
Like, even now, when I go to misa, like, you know when they, like, all stand up and sit down and kneel at the same time? I'm like, okay. Yeah. And I'm just, like, I'm, like, literally following everyone's directions. I'm, like, I have no idea what to do.
Right.
And then when I was, like, in middle school, I remember, like, we were, like, pornists. So, like, my mom would just send us to, like, the local Baptist church because they would, like, feed us on the weekends. They were like, oh, yeah, like, they give sandwiches. And I was like, sure. But I remember I would literally be there and I was just in La La Land. I was like, oh, those sandwiches, like so
You're like, yeah,
good.
I'm hungry.
I'm like, yeah, I'm literally hungry. Like, I can't wait for this to be over. But, like, it was, like, this nice Filipina lady. Like, she would always pick us up at 8 a.m. every Sunday, take us, it was called, like, Lighthouse Baptist Church in Alexandria, Virginia. And I low-key want to go back there when I'm older and just see how it is.
Right.
Only because, like, obviously, you know, like, I'm going to different churches to, like, talk about my experience. I'm like, why should I low-key go to that one for the Baptist one?
Okay.
But, yeah, that's kind of, like, the way I was raised. And, like, even on my dad's side, like, they're, I think, Catholic.
Right.
They're Catholic, but they don't, like, they don't believe that you have to go to church to, like, worship God. Like, they just do it at home, you know? So all that is, like, kind of, like, how I was raised. So, like, kind of... Christian, but like not really.
And okay, so then back to like how did it? So you said sleep paralysis is what happened.
Yes, oh my God, that's how it like basically came up again. So literally, I remember it was like mid-March, and I remember I was just sleeping, and I had sleep paralysis before, but not like the demonic one.
I've never experienced it.
It's basically like you just like can't move. Like you just can't
like you're
move.
stuck.
It's like you're stuck, but your eyes, you can move your eyes, but like that's it, right? So in my mind, I've had that one like maybe twice before, right?
Okay.
But I've never seen anything or like heard anything. So this was like a night where I was by myself, right? And like I have a huge like room, right? And like my bed takes up maybe like an eighth of the room. So it's like the rest of the room is like basically like empty besides like my desk and like some furniture. And it was obviously really dark. And I was like sleeping on my side because everyone's like, you got sleep paralysis because you were sleeping on your back. I was like, no, I was sleeping on my side. And I feel like, I don't know how to describe it.
Like,
but
they were in the bed with you. Like.
No, it felt like the bed was like going down. Like if someone was laying down. And I heard like someone who I know, who I'm not going to say. But like I heard them talking and I was just like, is this you? Blah, blah, blah. And they were like, yeah. Because also you can't talk. So all this conversation is happening like in your mind, right?
Like this is more like imaginary, like,
yeah, and
but actually happening.
And I was just like, are you in my bed? Or like, I was like, is this you? And they were like, yeah, why? And I was like, why are you in my bed? Like, get out of my room. I'm sleeping, you know?
Right.
And then I guess like she went away or something. And then I guess I like had turned or something. This was like later on that night. And I see like a figure of like a friend of mine, okay. Right? And like, he's just literally staring me down. Have you ever seen the movie Smile?
No, I don't watch scary movies.
Okay. That's exactly what my cousin said too. But like, it's just like a huge smile just staring down at me. And I was just like, hey girl.
No.
And I saw my friend, I was like, hey girl. And then, but it was something familiar. So that's why it wasn't like, it was like scary, yeah, but it was
like
more so.
Like you were questioning what's happening.
It was more so creepy, right?
Right.
And then so I just closed my eyes and then I wake up and then I see like this like tall figure, maybe like 8 feet tall, like just like, it was like a shadow, like, but it had the body of like a man. It had like long like nails and like red eyes. And then it literally just started crawling all over my bed onto me. And I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, absolutely not. And it like started like, I don't even know how to describe it. It like put like his hands like this. It was like this, right? All around my neck. And I was like, God help me. I was like, God help me. I was like, what is going on? But nothing was working. And then I was just like, you know, I was like, fuck it. And I was like, demon, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ. And
Period.
literally, like, I like felt like I literally jumped out of it, and I like literally felt like a rush of like, I felt like I have never felt that kind of relief in my life.
Wow.
And I was just like, and I remember sitting in my bed, I was like, and I remember I ran to turn on the lights, and I literally just sat in my bed for like an hour just staring at like the ceiling. And I remember I was just like, what the actual fuck did I just go through?
Right.
And I was like, wait, why did that low-key work? And I was like, wait. And then I immediately grabbed, because I had owned a Bible just because like, I like started like a Bible series on my TikTok 2 years ago, but I never picked it up. Like I did like 2 videos.
You did the going through the Bible stories, right?
Yeah, that was like 2 years ago, right? That I did 2 videos and I kind of gave up. But I immediately got the Bible and I just put it next to my bed and I was like, I'm going to sleep. I was like, and then I went to sleep with like
Jesus,
the lights
thank you.
on. But then the next day I was talking to like my family about it and like other friends, and they're like, oh, you should try like reading it. And I posted that video just like randomly, like just like, because I do story times all the time. I wasn't posting it for anything. And then it got flooded with Christians in the comments saying like, oh, this is why, like you should read this, you should read this. And I was like, fuck it, let me just read the Bible. And then I started reading, I was like, wait, why is this kind of good? I was like, this is kind of like really good. Because I didn't know it was like a book, like a story time. I thought it was just like, oh, you know, prayers and verses. I didn't realize it was like an actual story being told. I was like, wait.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is crazy.
So that's what got me into it, yeah.
Okay, so how has your experience been? Obviously, like with the traction of like TikTok and stuff, like it's like influenced and helped you out in some way?
Yeah, I will say like the first 2 months was kind of hard, only because like Christians can be very judgmental.
Absolutely,
like, especially me being obviously, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm gay. Like, I'm gay. And I'm also obviously openly gay on TikTok. And I think like a lot of Christians were like, you can't be gay and Christian. I said, who called themselves a Christian? I'm just exploring, you know? Like, I'm just like trying to see like if this is for me, right? And like, it's just also just weirdness from like different sides. Cause like also people are like, oh my God, Tony's gonna become like a conservative, like ex-gay influencer. I was like, no, sister, I'm staying gay. No shade. Like I'm gay. Sweet. Like, and not staying that way. But I was just like, I just like want to learn, you know, like, and the thing is, I'm also a person I just like learning about different cultures. So like, to me, it's kind of just like learning about like, cause the church is cultural, you know? So like going to different churches, like, and I was like, okay, let me just explore different churches, read different parts of the Bible. And then I saw comments, they were like, oh, like you should read, they were like, you need to read the New Testament first. And in my mind, I was like, what are y'all trying to hide from me? Because people say like, read that first. But in my mind, I was like, what are y'all trying to hide from me in the Old Testament?
I was definitely one of those people.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because I grew up also in a Pentecostal. I also dated somebody. I dated a girl who was apostolic. So I've been around that.
What does that mean? Because I've seen that word a lot.
Apostolic is just a little bit more intense. Hold on. Okay. The reason why a lot of people recommend the New Testament is because it is that's when Jesus starts his ministry. And then it's also the signs, the wonders, everything that Jesus ever did, which is probably the most important versus what happened in the Old Testament. Because the Old Testament is a lot of rules. It's prophecies about what is to come when Jesus comes. They're talking about, you know, the prophet. So it's like, and it's scary. Old Testament is harsh.
I was
scary.
Like, whoa.
It's
I was
rough.
like, it was crazy.
So it's just like, ooh, I got the heebie-jeebies. It's like, it's way more recommended because it's, when you read about Jesus versus what they say about God in the Old Testament, you fall more in love with it. Okay. And you start to understand it better, and because it's more simpler.
Yeah, because I was like, God was mad back then. I was like, oh my gosh.
But that was also because Jesus hadn't gotten here, and it was just like the Pharisees, and they were doing the wrong things.
I down like the chosen.
Those, absolutely not.
Those are obs.
Which, you know, can be presented in today's world. Yeah. Like, we have a lot of Pharisees that push people away from Jesus, that are harsh, like, babes, God loves you when you're gay, and who cares?
Right,
like,
actually.
That's why so it bothers me when people tell you, like, oh, you can't be Christian and gay. It's like, you're not one to say that. You know what I mean?
I'm like, until Jesus comes out himself and tells me that, I'm like,
no, literally, everybody has their own experience. Everybody has their own time, like, or whatever. I don't, like, the ultimate thing is that in the New Testament, the ultimate message is that Jesus is love. God is love. That is the only reason why he was sent here, was to prove to us, die for our sins, do all those things, to prove to us that we were loved. He sat with people that were tax collectors, leprosy
Matthew,
people.
that's Matthew, right? Yeah,
babe.
chosen, exactly.
No, but you'll realize that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John have almost the same things. Like, it's just different perspective.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That's
Yeah.
literally like the same story told from different
Yes.
perspectives. Because I was like, oh.
So wait till you
okay.
get to the chosen, because you're gonna see all these people.
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
like, you're gonna actually understand it. Which I'm like, which is why I love the chosen, because it gives like the perfect live view version of like what it is, and I'm like, wow, this could really be what it was back then.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, back to like I grew up. I've experienced all of that. And it pulled me away. My uncle was a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in church too, so it was like, that's why like I'm very.
I was watching the episode you did, I think, with your current pastors.
Yes.
And you were talking about like Hispanic churches, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like,
And
yeah.
which is why I love them. Like that's why I told him like, oh, if you ever come, like go to that church. Like it's great. Because they just give a new example, and I'm like in this new space where it's like, where I really understand what it is to have a relationship versus the religion part.
Yeah.
Which is why I feel like the New Testament is more relational and the Old Testament
It's like more religious,
Yes, and it's scary. And it's like, dude, like it pushes you away.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, we're going to go on a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back, you guys. Have you experienced that already?
Yes, I have. So the first church I went to was non-denominational. That's where my cousin goes to.
Okay.
Amazing experience too. And like the thing is, I do my deep research onto all the churches I go to. I'm like, let me check if they got any scandals or anything. And I was just like, okay, yeah. So I went in and I was just like, and I don't like to, because the thing is, I also believe in like respect. Like for example, like when I was going to, I didn't end up going, I'm gonna go sometime soon, but like to an Orthodox church, I definitely wore something more formal. I wasn't gonna show up in like booty shorts.
You're reading the room.
Yeah, exactly. So I went the first time and I look gay. I don't know how to describe it. Like I look gay. So I went in and like nobody like said anything. Nobody questioned me. I was like welcome with open arms. They gave me like a free Bible. And I also like, I will say, even like the church that I didn't have like a good experience, I always feel like I'm getting like a sign like very specific to me. And I could be just crazy, but like I'm just like, these are too many coincidences in one. Because like the first time I went to church in like 10 years, because I haven't been since like middle school, right? Was them doing a sermon on new people to church. And I was like, okay. And then
the pastor saw you, he was like, I need to change my message real quick.
Right, and then the next week I went to Misa. And like Misa I think was like the most familiar, only because I've been there a couple times. And then what do they call pastors? The father, the guy at the front talking.
The father.
He was like, it doesn't matter if you go to church here in Woodbridge, Virginia, or if you go to church in Los Angeles. And I was like,
not the two cities.
I was like, whoa, right? And then
are you watching my TikToks?
Right. And then in the third time I went, I had just watched The Prince of Egypt.
Okay.
Right? And then he was talking about Moses, and then he mentioned Prince of Egypt, and I was like, okay. I was just like, these are a lot of like specific like examples of things that I'm just like, I was like, maybe I'm supposed to be doing this, you know? But I will say the non-denominational church was amazing. The Misa, I had already been there because I think my brother was baptized there. Because like my aunt, the Catholic one, was like, if I want to be his godmother, he has to be baptized in like the Catholic church, right? So I've been there. The Pentecostal church was the one where I had like...
When I saw you go there, I was like, God, please bless him, protect him. I cannot wait for the review.
That one was definitely the most interesting experience. And like, again, me and my cousin have talked, it's like, forgive. So like, I don't like talk bad about it anymore. But like, that was definitely like an experience that like, I was just like, let me slow down on this. I was just like, maybe I'm not like doing this right or something. But then after like a lot of conversations with like family members, like friends, because like most of the people I surround myself with are just Christian, and obviously they're all like excited. I think it's kind of funny because like a lot of the people around me are Catholic, and they're just like rooting. They're like, we want you to be Catholic. We want you to be Catholic. I'm like, let me figure it out, you know. But after conversations, like I was just like, okay, I can't let this one experience like ruin that. But I think like the thing that kind of deterred me the most, besides the actual church experience, was just like the hate online.
Yeah.
And like it was just like a lot of homophobic stuff and like things like that. But then I was just like, okay, yeah, maybe there's like it sounds crazy, but like there's 1,000 bad comments, but there's also 10,000 good comments.
Focus on.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know, the ones with the most likes, the ones with the most attention are like the good comments. And like a lot of Christian like influencers making videos saying like leave him alone. Literally. And I was just like, wait. I was like, y'all are so nice. I was like, and then obviously I know not all of them, but like most people were being like really sweet to me, right? So then I was just like, okay, yeah. And also I was just like, I have never let hate affect me before. Why would it, like, I let hate from Christians stop me from, like, doing what I want to do. And then I made a video, and I was like, all the hate. I was like, I'm going to keep doing what I'm going to do. And then, yeah. And then also a lot of people just tell me I'm not doing it right when they're like, oh, don't watch The Chosen, just read the Bible. But I think people are so stuck in, like, their ways of thinking, like, you were raised with the Bible, so of course you're going to know the Bible. I wasn't. So, like, if I'm watching these, like, physical manifestations of it to help me understand it. Like with the Prince of Egypt, I remember watching it, I was like, wait, this movie's really good. But like to my other friends, like that was a movie they grew up watching and like a book they learned, like they were reading. Was it Exodus? Exodus, right?
Prince of Egypt?
Yeah, right?
Honestly, I've never seen it, but I know what you're talking about, but
I don't know the book, but like they were raised doing that. So I'm just like, I'm doing stuff like you know, I don't know if you know who Ali Yost is. But I watch her podcast. I'm just like, that's how I learn about things. Yeah. And like, I follow influencers of like all different denominations just to like learn about stuff. Cause I'm just like, to me, it's just like interesting, you know? So basically, yeah, that's like the whole like, yeah.
It's intense. It's intense, but it's also, I feel like it's a beautiful experience. And I love that the way that you're doing it and seeing it, because I think it just gives more perspective. And that's why I love how relatable and just, like, you're very honest about it. Like, I love your Bible stories. Like, oh my gosh, I live through them because I'm like, you are my inner thoughts. Like, God, why did you do this? Like, you know what I mean? But I love how you share it and actually posting about it. And I definitely recommend you don't stop.
Yeah.
Like,
I did stop for a while, but
no,
I have to pick
obviously,
it up again. Yeah.
No, but, you know, if you ever thought like, oh yeah, I'm never doing this again in my life, I think that it's just more, I think it draws people.
Yeah.
And I feel like it kind of gives, you're doing what a lot of people won't do or won't say out loud. And it's inspiring. And it's like, it takes a lot of courage because it's like, for you to actually say something about the Pentecostal church, a lot of people struggle and have trauma and like have difficulty actually talking about what they went through in those churches. And it's kind of like, the ultimate thing, and I hope that a lot of people can hear this and learn from you and whatever, is like, at the end of the day, and I just talked about this with my sister, it's like, when we're reading the Bible, when we're learning about God, one is to learn about Him so that we can understand ourselves better and how to live and be just better people.
Yeah.
And ultimately, like, it doesn't matter where we come from, who you are, what you do, what you believe in. Well, you believe in a little bit, you know what I mean? If you got to believe in Jesus, like, that's the ultimate, like, you got to believe in Him.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's having somebody to look at as Jesus, who died on the cross, who was fully human, who never sinned, who was like, but still experienced every human emotion ever, like, to give that example of just pure love and pure kindness, who He was around, what He did, what He preached about, like the wisdom that you gain from it. Like, and I can't wait for you to get to like even more levels.
Yeah.
For you to even understand or to feel, because I'm sure you have like certain moments and it's like, wait, is that God? Have you had that? Like, is that God talking to me? Or like, do you feel like you're like, your senses are like tingling?
So my cousins are like very Christian, some of them. And then they're like, oh, whenever like you like cry, that's like God touching your heart or something like that. There was one time where I was like, I just felt like, oh my God, I'm trying to get emotional. But like the day that my mom was taken, like I just randomly opened up like the Bible, right? And it was like Psalm or something like that. And like, I remember reading the verse and it was just like, oh, like, I forgot what it specifically, or I don't think it was Psalm, but I remember it was nothing but, or like some part where it said like, call and I'll listen, or call and I'll like, something like that. And I wrote in the Bible because it was just how I was feeling. I was like, why are you ignoring me? You know, and like, it was just like, so like, and I just cried. And I hadn't cried in like so long, because I'm not a crier. I'm just like, oh, I'm supposed to be tough. Like, I don't cry. And like that moment, I just cried so hard for like 3 hours. And then like that was like when I realized my mom was taken, and I didn't know anything at that point.
Wow.
And then like, I like literally as soon as I was done crying, like my friend called me and was just like, we need to book your ticket to like get to like Virginia as soon as possible. And I think in that moment, I don't know if like in the last video, I haven't posted on TikTok for like a week only because like we've been here in California. But like in my last video, I said like prayer does work.
Yeah. Like
I feel like everything I've prayed for, I think I've like, obviously I'm praying that my mom gets out, but like even like little things that I pray for, I'm just like, just make sure she's okay, you know, just make sure, like, you know, like, she has people in there, like, because it's lonely, you know? But then, like, I see her, like, saying, like, she has, like, all these friends in there, and, like, they all call her Jamie, which is, like, our nickname for her, and I'm just, like, and she's also helping so many people in there, so I'm just, like, don't take away, like, her optimism, and, like, you know?
Keep her
And, like,
strong.
and, like, even she'll call me, and, like, because the thing is, like, my mom didn't raise us religious, so, like, hearing her say, like, make sure Aiden prays every night, you know, like, oh, like, I've been reading my Bible in here because they don't give me, like, a tablet. Or, like, she has, like, a tablet, but they're not allowed to do anything except video call. She's like, I've been reading my Bible, and, like, even, like, she's, like, is obsessed with, like, this one song, El Alfarero or something like that. Yeah, she, like, says that when she hears the, like, the Catholic women singing it, she doesn't join them because she feels like she can't. But, like, she just stands off to the side and just listens to them sing. And
Girl,
then, like...
tell her to sing with them.
Nah, I'm just like, Mom, like, if you know the words, I would be singing even if I wasn't, like, Christian like that. But yeah, just, like, and I think, like, that's also something that has been, like, pushing me through. Like, if my mom, like, has so much trauma from the church and she's still, like, not giving up, why would I give up if it's, like, so much easier for me? You know, like, obviously it's not easy, but, like, it's easier, like, by comparison to, like, you know, have access to, like, all these things, keep going to church, because, like, she doesn't have church in there. So, like, yeah, that's why I haven't, like, given up.
I think that's beautiful. I feel like I can relate in some way because the day that my mom, the plane was just lost, okay? It hadn't confirmed death or anything. I was a worship leader, and I would sing at church, and that day I was set to sing. It was a Sunday. I was like, okay, the only option that I have now, at this point, you would assume that I wouldn't go. But I literally had no other option but to go. And to, like, not because I was forced or anything, but I was like, I am left with nothing right now. Yeah. This is, like, my only hope. This is, like, my only things that's gonna keep me going. And I just went and I sang and I prayed. Now, obviously, it didn't turn out the way that I had prayed for, that I hoped. Obviously, we're human, things happen. Yeah. And it's obviously, and I had to learn that and understand that a lot of things, we're also in the world, and a lot of people have free will, and nature just happens. And there's the enemy, you know, there's the enemy that that's already, what my cousin calls like, it too, it literally happens. Like, God already knows what the enemy's gonna happen. He's just preparing you for it. And it's like a test of faith. And I always say this, it's like, whatever we're going through right now, or whatever has happened, or you have to see it as a test of faith. How much longer are we gonna endure this? If we're handling this right now, imagine the greater things that are gonna come, like the fruits that are gonna happen and come from this. And I'm not saying I'm grateful that obviously my mom passed away. I would love to have her here. Yeah. I'm not saying that or knocking that. But what I have learned, and the way that it's drawn me closer to God instead of away, has led my life so much more farther. And I'm grateful for everything that I learned. And I'm going to be praying with you and believing with you. And my only thing is that I do not want you to, like, lose that faith. I want you to keep believing and trusting that God, because you're not even, like, a full believer, and you're doing more work than these Christians of like 20 years, you know, and that's sad to say, but it's like, it's better than anything that anybody is doing, you know. And it makes me so happy as somebody that, like, it's like something like drew you here, and obviously your sleep paralysis, you're like, I can't move. But no, but it's like the way that already just that little thing launched you into something more greater. And it's like, okay, like, all right, I'm doing this, planting this little seed. Is he going to make it out of this one? Yeah. And he already knows the answer. He already knows it. I believe that you will. And I believe that your mom will. And the fact that you probably even led her to read the Bible and believe again. Yeah, she was watching knowing, like my videos, dude. Yeah. Like, and that's beautiful, and that's like the fruit of your labor. Like, that is that is your work. That is something that you produce, and you should be proud of that, because that is something good and it is beautiful. And I understand the feeling of, like, wanting your mom to come home. Yeah. 1,000%. You know, I grew up a lot of time away from my mom because she was working. And then one day to another, obviously, the job that she was working so hard for, maintaining 5 kids as a single mom, like, took her away. So I can understand the resentment and I can understand the loneliness.
Yeah.
And, like, I can also see it from your mom's perspective, you know, like, how she may be feeling. And I'm just going to pray that God brings her that peace and that comfort and that strength, because I know that it's not easy. It's really not.
Yeah.
Kind of off-topic question, but what's your relationship like with your dad?
Me and my dad are cool. It's just that, like, he's like a 40-something-year-old Latino man. Like, very, very not very emotional.
Right,
Like,
okay.
yeah, it's very...
Machista?
Yeah. Not machista. It's just, like, very, like, just like this. Like, very monotone. He'll be like, oh, is your mom...
Never shared your feelings.
Is your mom okay? No. Like, we were literally talking about... I was watching, like, the episode with, like, Jesus, like, con la comadre, and he was talking about his come-out story, and, like, my cousin was like, did you have a come-out story? And I was like, no. One time I was just arguing with my dad, and I remember I was just trying to make him angrier. Like, I don't know. I was just trying to, like, piss him off. And I was like, well, guess what? I'm gay. And he was just like,
I
okay.
can't
Like,
imagine that.
And he was like, what does that have to do?
Guess what?
He was like, what does that have to do with anything? I don't care. And I was like, oh. I was like,
I just
very
wanted to
progressive of
say
you.
it.
I was just trying to make it mad. So, like, we've always had, like, a very, like, kind of like a, hey, how are you? Okay, I'm good. How are you? You know? Because I've always been like a mama's boy. Like, I've always lived with my mom. Like, they separated when I was, like, really young. I was, like, 4. So I've always just lived with my mom. So, yeah.
Did it strain more when you told him that you were gay?
No, I think, honestly, that, like, that fight, like, I wouldn't say brought us closer. It kind of didn't really change anything. Because, like, when we were talking about come out story, I never really had to, like, come out to, like, any of my family members. They just, I mean, girl, they had eyes. Like, they saw, you know?
Right. What was that for you? Like, did you feel like it was just always a part of you? Or, like, you know how people say I was born with it? Or, like, how did you discover that you were gay, basically?
What? Oh, girl, I was, like, I think I was in 1st grade, right? And then I thought I had a crush on this girl named Claudia, right? And I was so jealous of her man because I was like, I want to date Claudia. I want to date Claudia. And I was like, wait, no, I low-key want to be Claudia. Like, her boyfriend's cute. I was just like, I have a crush on her boyfriend. And I think that's how I discovered it. And then I did, like, the whole, like, a lot of gays, we come out as bisexual first because it's more, like, acceptable. And then I was like, I'm not bisexual. Let's be serious. Like, I boys, right? And then, so I think that's how it was. And then I will say in high school, I was outed.
Okay.
I was outed.
So,
and, like, I was bullied a little bit, right? But then I was just like, girl, I'm a strategist. Like, what do I do to stop this bullying? I became friends with all the popular girls.
Period.
And they were like, leave our gay alone, basically. So I became friends with, like, all the popular girls. And then I became, like, popular because I was, like, their like, gay best friend, right? So then nobody bothered me at all. And I was just like, and I graduated not getting bullied. I was like, yeah, it's true.
What?
Yeah.
That's
how
crazy.
I got my little clout in high school.
You're smart. I can tell. Very strategic. You put a lot of thought into what you do. I'm sure people will say, like, oh, that's very Sagittarius of you. I don't know.
I don't know anything about, like, horoscopes or anything. So people are like, that's so sad. I'm like, oh, thank you.
I know very little. Like, I know I'm a Libra.
Don't judge me.
No. Oh, please. If you want your booty to burn, go ahead. Like, that's not my worry. No, I'm not really into that. I feel like not even used to be. I just feel like I used it as an excuse for everything. Like, oh, that's because they're a Cancer. Oh, that's because, like, you know. But that's very LA.
Yeah.
Like, so, I don't know. Okay.
You can't grab this.
We are doing now lighthearted and fun questions.
Oh, period.
That way.
I'm an open book, so don't ask nothing you don't want the answer to.
Oh, no. Oh, now I want to go rewrite everything. Like, I want to know everything.
This is bomb.
Yes?
This is bomb.
Okay, good.
And I usually don't listen. I'm going to be honest, because Jesus is watching, lying is bad. When you said albóndigas, I said, oh, okay.
What?
Okay.
Why? You said anything.
And I did. And I was like, okay, it shouldn't have been that, though. But these are really good.
Okay.
Are these not beef?
They're not beef.
They're turkey.
They're
or what are
chicken.
they? Chicken. Okay, yeah, that's why I like it, because I don't like beef meatballs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God,
No,
because
like,
I'm only
turkey
turkey chicken over here.
No.
As far as, like, albóndigas.
I respect it because these chicken meatballs are really...
Thank
can I
you,
curse?
God. Yes.
Really fucking good. Like, this whole time, I don't know if you guys ever know. I've been trying not to curse, and I'm like, I don't know.
Please do. No, honestly, look, that is one of the habits, me personally, that I'm trying to let go of. Just because, you know, like, I'm just like, okay, it'd be cuter if I just didn't curse. Like, I'd look more like, I don't know. Like, I just think that it's cute, like, not to. But it's hard when you've already been doing it for so long.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, I'm really glad that you love it. If you could have dinner with any famous person, dead or alive, who would it be?
Dead or alive?
Let's do both, dead and alive.
Dead? Trying to think. Maybe Selena. Because I love Selena so much. My mom like grew up listening to her. And then alive, I love Karol G. Like I love Karol G. Oh my gosh. She's my like, because the thing is like I have a work phone and like a just like my phone, and she's like my screensaver on my regular phone. And then everyone's like, "Is this your work phone?" I'm like, "No, but it should be." I'm like, I'll put it on like my work phone.
Dude,
I love
her. Love her persona. Just love her music. Like everything about her is just.
I drove from Virginia to Atlanta to see her in a concert. It was 10.5 hours.
No.
I drove that day. I saw her that day. So I went to see her in Atlanta. Then she went to El Salvador. I flew to El Salvador to see her. And then she was just like, "Oh, I'm finishing the tour in Spain." And I was like, I don't need an excuse to go to Spain, but like, this is even better. And then I went to the very last show in Spain.
No, you didn't.
Yes, and I was literally like right on like with the place that she was walking. I was like right there.
How was that?
It was amazing.
Oh,
that is like,
my God.
that's my queen.
Her, Bad Bunny, but Karol G is at like my top. I saw her here in LA. I've been to all her like little shows like before she even like
blew
popped
up.
off like stadium tour vibes. Flew out to go see her in Peru.
Oh, period.
I love her. So invite me to that dinner, thank you. Okay, if you could be any animal for a day, what would it be?
Any animal? Trying to think. I don't want to be basic and say like a cat because they don't do anything all day. like they don't do anything. Honestly, maybe like an animal. I feel like the closest thing like to a mermaid is like a dolphin because like they can swim in the water, but like they're still like they could still choke underwater. So like maybe a dolphin.
Dolphins?
Like,
I feel like I heard something bad about dolphins. Like they're like a little bit mean or something. Or they
maybe,
could tell.
they're kind of pervy. Never mind.
Yeah, like they know when somebody's pregnant.
Maybe a
and
shark.
stuff.
Maybe a shark. Maybe a shark.
My sister said an eel. I'm like, you want to be a bird?
Oh wait,
An
an
eagle.
eel. I was like, an eel? That's so
Honestly,
random.
I don't know what I would be. Pandas. I love pandas. They just sit there and live their lives and just.
But they get watched all day. Me, if I was a panda, like eating my bamboo, like.
At least I'd be cute. Like, I'd be a cute panda.
And they also fall down the thing. I would like get up and I'm like, sorry.
Like, I feel like I'm a little clumsy like them too.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one. If you can ask God one question, it could be silly, it could be whatever. It could be silly, serious, and you could receive the answer right now.
Oh my God.
Like, you don't gotta wait in that prayer line.
Oh my God.
What would it be?
I feel like the answer I'm supposed to say is like, free my mom for real.
Right.
But like, if it's a question and not like a request.
Right.
Loki, what's taking so long? Because isn't he supposed to come back or something like that? Like, what's taking so long? Like,
that's literally me every day.
all these people tell me like he's supposed to come back. I'm like, what's taking so long, Papa? Like, come on now.
Dude.
Wait,
honestly,
but like Loki is only the believers. I'm like, give me a second though. Like, I gotta get there. Don't do it right now. Don't do it right now. I'm like, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready.
Look, he's
yet.
giving you time.
Right.
He's giving a lot of time and warnings. That's like the main thing. But yeah, I ask myself all the time, I'm like any day now or whatever. Then I think about my family, like, no, actually they need to be saved. So give me a sec. So I get it. Oh my God. You know what? I always say this. I'm like, what was the whole point? I mean, I know the whole point, but why do we have to give Eve the punishment of like, you know, the period and like all that stuff?
Girl.
So I'm just like,
I think the same thing. Because I'm like, Loki, it's Adam's fault.
It is.
I'm like,
it is Adam's fault.
She didn't, so it's his fault.
It is Adam's fault.
If anything, I'm like, hot take, Eve should have been created first. There you go.
Yes, but the whole point in that is that a woman was made out of a man, the missing rib. So when you get married, like you're meant to be with that one person, you're that missing rib.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Eve still should have been first.
A man could have been made out of Eve, but then it's like woman, you know what I mean? I get it. Anyway, All right. Well, with that, we're gonna end with the Bible verse of the day. I end with like Bible verse of the day every episode. So here it is. Today's is Isaiah 43:19. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. This reminds us that God is always doing something new in our lives, even when we don't see it yet. No matter what challenges we face, God is making a way and he's creating new paths and fresh beginnings.
That's a hard path.
This path is going like this way. I feel it though. But you know what? It makes us stronger and it's part of who we are to be able to be that example for people, I feel. You know? To be that testimony.
It's true.
Ultimately. I love that you were able to like feel comfy. I hope the food was amazing, that you felt at home.
Oh girl, I'm licking the plate.
And period. Enjoy that. You need a little home sometimes, a little comfort. Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you for enjoying this meal with us. If you made it with us or if you plan on making it, it's in the description box below. Where can they find you? Share your socials.
All my socials. I'm only on Instagram and TikTok. YouTube coming soon.
Oh.
At Tony Vara. And I assume YouTube will be Tony Vara. We'll figure that out. I don't know.
Yeah, there's something along that. It's like, we'll figure that out. But is there still a GoFundMe to support your mom?
Yeah, it's like in my like Instagram bio and TikTok. Because it is really expensive to have her in another state. But like the lawyers also are being really understanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna also add the GoFundMe here on this video so that way you guys can support that as well. You guys don't have to go all the way. I mean, go and follow him, but if you're specifically looking for the GoFundMe, you know what I mean. Please go follow him and support the GoFundMe. I think anything helps. Thank you so much. I loved having you. It was such a beautiful experience.
Wait, can I give you a hug? Because earlier when we were talking about our moms, I was like, I want to hug you.
I know, I wanted to hug you too. I was like, but wait.
I wanted you to go first, but I was like, what if she wants me to go first? And I was like, wait.
Stop. You're supposed to make the first move.
I'm sorry. I'm a lady.
I love it. No, thank you so much. I hope that you also know that you have somebody, if you have any questions, biblical questions, anything you need
next
help
time I come
with,
to LA,
anything,
I'm going to your church.
Please, I'll go with you. Like, I feel like you'll love it. And enjoy and whatever. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow Tony, and I will see you guys next week.